We're just going to allow everyone to come in from the waiting room and we'll get started shortly. All right, as a reminder, please make sure you're muted. Good afternoon. This is a hearing before the Boston Cannabis Board. Today is August 17th, 2022. Today's hearing is being conducted pursuant to certain temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. This hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the City of Boston's website. Before I review some procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman Kathleen Joyce.
Good afternoon. My name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm chair of the Boston Cannabis Board. Today, I'm happy to be joined by Commissioner Darlene Lombos, Commissioner Lisa Holmes, Commissioner Alejandro Sanquian, and Commissioner John Smith.
Thank you, Chairwoman Joyce. And my name is Jasmine Nguyen, and I am the Boston Cannabis Board Manager. We are also joined by Allison Quinn, who is the Project Manager for the BCB. While the public is encouraged to attend, there will be no additional public testimony accepted. I will read each item into the record. After I will ask for comments from the commissioners. I will then ask if there's a motion, any questions for the motion, and then there will be a vote. Each board member has the ability to grant with conditions, defer, reject without prejudice, which means the applicant can return anytime with an application at the same location, or reject with prejudice, which means the applicant cannot reapply at the same location for 1 year. I will now call on the first matter. The applicant is Herbal Power LLC. The proposed license premise is 329 Columbus Avenue, South End. The license type is a retail recreational cannabis dispensary license. The proposed hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sunday, noon to 8 p.m. This is an equity applicant. Chairwoman Joyce.
Thank you, Jasmine. 1 second. Just reviewing my score sheet. Some of the things that stood out for me on this application was that they emphasized that previous experience is not a prerequisite to be employed here. And I thought that was a distinction, made it a very strong, and part of their very strong employment plan. They had solid retention strategies and they provided referral bonuses. And let me just double check. I just wanted to thank the applicant and the individual who testified in person that submitted supplemental material to the board. There was interesting discussion about the sidewalk from a lot of people who joined us at the hearing. There was the traffic engineer provided information that this sidewalk, according to his measurements, is 8 feet 4 inches. And a 4 feet minimum is required for the ADA regulation, while 5 feet is preferred. And then the study that was commissioned by the residents talked about something. At first I was confused. I had to really dig down, talked about the effective width is less than 5 feet. And I think they were taking into consideration things like tree pits and places to pick up the newspaper. So we're talking about the actual width and then an effective width. I was very comfortable with the width of the sidewalk. And overall, I think this was a very good application. So those are all my comments.
Thank you. Commissioner Lombos.
Not much to add there. Thank you for that summary, Chairwoman Joyce. Very strong applicant, scored very high on many of my on categories. Employment was high too. I really appreciate the detailed employment plan and DEI plan. So I thank the applicant.
Thank you. Commissioner Holmes.
Yeah, as with Chairwoman Joyce, I was a little confused with that second sidewalk information, but I think I was able to get through it and understand that it did appear to be sufficient. I also like the updated info they gave us, and I noticed in their updated information that they have 2 security guards posted for every day, some full-time, some part-time. So I appreciate all the updated info. They took all our concerns and all our thoughts definitely into consideration and provided us with a lot of updated information. So I thought they were solid. I do understand the community's concerns about that corner. I'm very familiar with that corner. I understand, but I don't think it matters what goes in that space. We're always going to have that issue with that turn lane and the loading in the back alley. So other than that, I felt that it was a very strong application. The applicants did their due diligence and they made sure that they addressed all the concerns that were within their control.
Thank you. Commissioner Sangian?
Thank you. Not much to add. I agree with my fellow commissioners, and I also am empathetic to the community feedback and hearing from the district councilor and the citywide councilor about how they are really great operators in their district. And in addition to the in-depth, what I thought was in-depth community process that they used for this establishment, made me feel secure that they would be a good partner to the community, even those that not necessary for opening there. So I felt comfortable with that.
Commissioner Smith?
Thanks, Jasmine. Yeah, echoing the same as most of the other commissioners, and feeling like, there would be issues with some of the same issues would surface with a different kinds of business. I mean, the South End is plagued by parking and all that, and that corner is an interesting place to be. But so taking all of that into consideration, I still thought that it was a great application. Thank you.
Thank you. Chairwoman Joyce, is there a motion?
Thanks, Jasmine. Just two more comments. I just want to thank everyone for their comments and appreciate what the commissioners are saying, because we see this in a lot of neighborhoods. We'll have a really solid application. It may not be the best site according to like a couple of the groups there. But when you have a solid applicant and a solid operator with a proven track record, I feel confident they're going to be a good neighbor, and they will help redirect any of these issues that may be brought to their attention. So with that, my vote would be to grant this applicant a license at this location.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And none opposed. So this is granted. This applicant is granted a license. All right, the next matter we have is 684 Center Street, JP LLC, Prolific Cannabis. The proposed license premise is 684 Center Street, Jamaica Plain. The license type is a retail recreational cannabis dispensary license. The proposed hours of operation are 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. And this is an equity applicant. Chairwoman Joyce.
Thank you, Jasmine. I think this was a strong application. I just wanted to point out some things that I thought stood out. They put a lot of thought into their employment plan and built in some incentives that it's great to see. After 3 months, the employees will qualify for an increase in pay, and they do have performance-based reviews and housing assistance in the form of grants. I think it's great to see these things teased out in detail from the perspective of the board. They really think about these things and work to put good quality positions in place. Other than that, I have no comments on this application.
Commissioner Alamos.
Again, very much agree with Chairwoman Joyce. Very strong application. I do appreciate the great partners that they'll be working with. I like to see Sierra Naturals there as part of their training. I like seeing Big Hope and others that they had mentioned. And so I'm really glad that there's already clear partnerships that have been established with this applicant.
Thank you. Commissioner Holmes.
Ditto, I don't have much to add. They had a very strong application. They were very conscientious about the community and the neighbors and making sure that they were going to be a good addition to that neighborhood. So I agree 100%.
Commissioner Sankian.
I agree, and I also was comfortable with the amount of space that they had for inside queuing, given just the how active that area is in terms of people and baby strollers, and I know it quite well, but I felt like the space that they have is sufficient to remedy that. So and really strong application, really great applicant.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith.
Thanks, Jasmine. Same as the other commissioners. Strong application. Thank you.
Chairwoman Joyce, is there a motion?
Yes, I make a motion to grant this applicant license at this location.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And none opposed. The applicant is granted a license at this location. Great. We are now going to move to old and new business. The following licensee is applying for a temporary amendment to their existing license. HVV Mass Inc. doing business as Happy Valley. The license type is a co-located medical and recreational retail license. The license premise is 220 William F. McCollin, East Boston. The licensee is applying for an extension of hours for September 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 2022 over Labor Day weekend. The applicant is requesting to open at 8 a.m. as opposed to their 10 a.m. opening. The applicant will close at their normal 9 p.m. closing. Any questions to the request? No. Chairwoman Joyce,
I vote to approve this request.
is there a second? All in favor? And none opposed. So the amendment is granted for those 3 days. All right, those are all the matters before the board today. Our next transactional hearing will take place on September 14th at 1 p.m. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their evening.